Caleb Hammocky is for the Tigers. Sean Riley and Tyrone WRIGHT in the center court circle. It is won by the Lions in those black uniforms. With it is Jaden Taylor. He'll swing it over right side to Tyreek Brooks. And here come the Lions on their first opening possession. They get it into the corner. Justin Duff, a three, no good. And Kyle Grill, who has got that tape on his calf, was questionable coming in, gets the rebound. Now a pass underneath, blocked by WRIGHT. He soars in there to get the block on Sean Riley. Fort Hays will set it up. Here's R.J. Crawford. He shoots a deep three. It's no good, left short.
Not a bad look. R.J. Crawford had some separation there, decided to pull it from long range, maybe try his luck there. Would have been a good start for the Tigers.
Fort Hays State wants to see him shoot it more and more. He's got that good touch. There's some good touch from Jaden Taylor. I don't know how that thing had enough spin to go in, hit the perfect spot on the rim for that thing to fall.
It really did, and it just killed the ball pretty much right on the back of the rim and just rolled right in.
Here's Riley. He'll hand it off. Hammocky. He wants a three. That one's no good, but Trajan Davis lands right in his lap for the rebound. Tigers will set it up again. Hammocky will get a screen going right. Stopping. Now Crawford. He has a catch-and-shoot three opportunity. No good, and he's 0 for 2.
Not another not bad look from Crawford. He had the separation, and he might as well shoot it if it's there.
He had a big second-half three against Newman in that game as well. There's a pass stolen away by Hammocky. Not a great pass from Brooks. Hammocky, coast to coast, high off the glass, no good. Crawford gets the rebound. He puts one up, and he shoots it over the glass. And Crawford might have thought he was fouled to have that bad of a shot. Fort Hays State can't take advantage of the fast break.
Yeah, and I really think he just kind of got flustered under the basket. There was about 2 or 3 Missouri Southern defenders there under the basket with Crawford, and Crawford just didn't really have a whole lot of room to operate underneath the rim.
Here come the Lions trying to up their lead here in the early couple minutes. Here is Taylor. He'll drive in. Crawford defending him. Spinning, nothing there. This Lions team beat the Tigers 2 years ago in Hays in an upset fashion. Fort Hays State coming into that game was ranked. There's a shot from WRIGHT. He hits the midi. 4-0 Lions.
That was a nice shot and over the top of R.J. Crawford, no less. Crawford had a hand in his face, and still he was able to knock down the shot.
So Missouri Southern here's looking like they've come ready to play. Fort Hays scoreless in the first 2 minutes. Hammocky will attack baseline. Swing it to Riley. Riley hop-stepping in the lane. His shot gets blocked for a second time, trying to go right over Tyrone WRIGHT, and the 6'9 junior says, I don't think so. Taylor will attack. Not a good look, but the offensive rebound for WRIGHT, and he scores the layup.
WRIGHT, back-to-back buckets for him. He's going to be one to watch tonight. It seems like he's really come to play.
6-0 Lions, and he's definitely got that size advantage on Hammocky. 6'9". Fort Hays State doesn't have anybody over 6'7" on their roster outside of Petar Astros. Now a steal. Here comes Martin Messina. Actually, no, that's Justin Duff. His shot gets blocked by Hammocky. What a good chase down. Hammocky in transition will go right of the defense, and he gets stripped by Macinas. Lions want to push. Tyreek Brooks in the lane. He'll swing it out. Duff thought about the three, and now the Lions will set it up.
Well, what a sequence there. Back and forth there really quick, and not a whole lot of time to breathe for either team.
Brooks will get into right. There comes the double team. There's Brooks. He'll fire a corner three, no good. Riley gets the rebound, but he's pushed out of bounds by Tyrone WRIGHT.
It looks like they'll end up getting him on the foul, so it'll work out in the Tigers' favor. It was a good rebound there that was Sean Riley that came down with it. And that's really what the Tigers are going to need on defense and offense, for that matter, is to come down with those rebounds that are going to be harder to get, because it seems like the Lions have really been able to convert on the majority of those second chance opportunities.
Well, 0 for 7, 4 days from the field. They're going to go to Hammocky, and his shot gets blocked out of bounds. Now 0 of 8. What does Fort Hays State have to do at this point?
Missouri Southern really defensively came to play quite well. I think Fort Hays State needs to focus on moving the ball around more. They really haven't looked at moving the ball around too much. It's been mostly just 1 or 2 players that have been taking it at the paint.
Lucas Hammocky struggling to get it in. Now he finds his brother Caleb. Fort Hays will try and eat some clock and get a good possession. Caleb was left open, doesn't shoot it. Now he gets it over to Lucas Hammocky, who drives, and a blocking foul will be called This one's going against the Lions' Jaden Taylor. This might be the worst start that you could imagine for Fort Hays State.
I would say so, and it's not that they haven't had a lack of chances. They've had a lot of looks on goal, but just haven't been able to get them to fall.
Lacuna will get outside Lucas Hammocky now. It's Riley who got pushed way outside. Tyrone Wright, he's got to go to work on him. They go right at Wright. Can't score the layup. Tip in, no. Dan McCuna gets the offensive rebound. His little baby hook won't fall, and nothing's going for Fort Hays State.
And this is showing kind of signs of the women's game. There's a bit of a lid on that rim there for the Tigers.
0 of 10. Wow. Missouri Southern can really up their lead here with the basket. Swing it around to Tyrone Wright. Wright not really much of a threat out there. He gets it over to Tyreek Brooks. Brooks will attack. Actually, that's Taylor. Taylor step through. Shot left short. Tyrone Wright can't grab the rebound. It will go to Fort Hays. Shot clock was winding down, and there's a good defensive stand by the Tigers.
And I think another thing the Tigers can really try and focus on is upping their energy. I'm noticing a little lack of life out there on the floor from some of the Tigers, and some of that extra effort that Missouri Southern's been putting forward has really paid off.
There's Riley. Gets it to McCuna. McCuna's got a good mismatch down in the paint. He'll spin off of his man, and he'll finish a nice layup.
And that's what they needed to get the scoring going. Just needed one to fall, and I think that's really going to help the Tigers to continue to knock down shots.
Yep, exactly. Now a steal by Lucas Hammocky. Thrown away by Duff. Lucas Hammocky lobs it up to McCuna.
How about that for some energy? That is what the Tigers needed, to say the least. And now the Tigers within 2 points just like that.
Turning the defense into the offense. It's how Fort Hays State likes to do it. Trajan Davis getting posted up by Macinas. Macinas trying to spin. Good defense by Davis. And he'll get it out to his teammate Taylor. Macinas, he can fire up the three. He'll drive by Hammocky, and now it'll be a three-point shot from Tyreek Brooks instead.
And McCuna closed out on him. It's not that McCuna wasn't there to get a hand in his face. It was just a good shot. There's not a whole lot you can really do about that defensively.
McCuna finds Hammocky. He's left wide open, and Caleb Hammocky connects.
And you can't leave Caleb Hammocky that wide open. He's going to respond 9 times out of 10 if you leave him that wide open.
His brother Lucas was almost setting the down screen for him. And Caleb finally gets his first field goal, 1 for 4. And 1 for 2 from 3. Jaden Taylor off a screen going right. He gets it over to Tyreek Brooks. He'll shoot over McCuna again.
And that's just unreal. McCuna stands at 6'8". He is not a small guy to shoot over, and he's shooting over him like it's nothing. That's not a lot you can do there.
Hammocky, he answers right back.
Going stride for stride here. Hammocky really just providing the answers for this Tigers team so far.
Well, both teams now, after the slow start, have each made 3 of their last field goals. This one goes to Jaden Taylor. Taylor, Hammocky defending him tightly off a screen from Wright. He'll go to the right. Taylor, a tough shot, and a foul going to be called on Caleb Hammocky. Tigers don't like it. We'll take a break, though. Missouri Southern, 12-10 lead in the early going.
All the campus tours I took, Fort Hays was just like the place I fell in love with. It was so comfortable to be here. It seemed like everybody was willing to listen to me, and they wanted me to do my best here. So it was just a place of comfort and community, which is something I was looking for. Here at Fort Hays, we're such a tight-knit community that it's nice to recognize faces you walk by and continue those relationships. The connections I'll have to be able to further my career has been awesome. My name is Abigail Wolf. I'm a senior here at Fort Hays, and I'm majoring in nursing.
I chose Fort Hays State University through online because they cared about me personally, because they shared my passion for my family and my community, and made it okay for me to be able to share both of those things at the same time while still giving me a top-notch education. I'm proud to be a graduate of Fort Hays State University.
Fort Hays State turning their defense into offense. Hammocky up to McCuna for a lob.
Yeah, and that was the energy that the Tigers needed. They really needed something to spark the fire for this team. It seemed like they really came out with a bit of a lack of energy there at the beginning of that first half of play, and it was Hammocky really getting it done on offense for the Tigers.
Yeah, Caleb Hammocky, you see, hit those 2 threes. And, well, he started off 0 of 3, but now he's 2 of 5, and maybe getting in a little rhythm. And we mentioned he had 32 in the last game versus Newman. His shooting hot streak right now just seems like carried over into this one.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Mark Johnson, you can't ask for much more from a guy like Caleb Hammocky, who really performs night in and night out. And right there, he's already started the ball game pretty hot. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Free throw is good from Jaden Taylor, a 6'3 junior from Memphis, Tennessee. Went to Southwest Tennessee Community College. Perfect on both. So a 4-point lead here for Missouri Southern. This Lions team right now has had as much of a lead as 6, but they've led the whole way. Here's Hammocky, another 3. This one won't go, though. McCuna trying to track down the rebound. It gets rebounded by the Lions' Justin Duff. Here's a drive by Taylor. Good defense, getting around Lucas Hammocky. The floater over McCuna, no. Oh, man, Taylor with a really nice move, but couldn't finish. Hammocky will attack. Might have gotten away with the travel. Said gets it out to his brother Lucas. Tigers will swing it around the perimeter. Eli Lawson, the freshman who just checked in, will set a screen. Caleb Hammocky fires it to Trajan Davis in the corner. No good on the 3. High percentage shot by Davis. He shoots 47% from outside.
I liked what he did there. He kind of had himself excluded from the play, kind of hit himself in the corner, tried to make them forget about him, and he really opened up the floor a lot with that.
There's an extra pass swung over to Jaden Taylor, who can't hit the 3. McCuna fighting for the rebound, lost it. It goes to Missouri Southern. It was actually, take that back, Tyreek Brooks shot that 3.
Well, and so far, the Lions have shot the ball pretty well from outside the arc tonight, and Fort Hays State's going to have to continue to close out on those shots if they want to stay in this ball game.
Brooks, who thought about the 3 for a moment, gets it over to Isaiah Atwater, a freshman from Wichita, Kansas. Taylor will shoot a 3, and he hits another.
And I mean, as Fort Hays State, there's not a lot you can do there. They're shooting over the top of players that normally are really big obstacles for players.
Taylor now with 7 in this first half. McCuna's pass trying to get in low to Lawson. Out of bounds, stays with Fort Hays State. And this Missouri Southern team is definitely surprisingly up the defensive pressure, maybe a little motivated from that last game versus Missouri Western.
I would say so, especially if you go into halftime leading by 5, and especially a team like Missouri Western that's like a rival for this team. That definitely has to light the fire for them.
Lucas Hammocky attacks right on Atwater, and he had the size advantage, shot right over him.
And Atwater only stands at 5'10", a smaller player in terms of college standards, but still a very shifty player at that.
Here is Taylor trying to go to work on Caleb Hammocky. Taylor getting in the lane, put up a runner, no good. Left that one well short. Good defense by Fort Hays State. Lucas Hammocky will walk it up. Crossover, gets by his man, attacks the lane, he scores it and is fouled.
Lucas Hammocky, not one that we see score the basketball all that often for this Fort Hays State team, usually playing second fiddle to his older brother Caleb, and really usually opening things up for Caleb for that matter. But Lucas doing a nice job here in those last 2 possessions at going to the hole himself.
Hey, he got 8 points in the game on Saturday versus Newman. He can't capitalize, though. Usually a good free throw shooter at 78%. That one's no good. Missouri Southern now with the 3-point lead in the basketball. Tyreek Brooks. They get it around to Taylor. Now it's Macinas who's working on the freshman Eli Lawson. Martin Macinas trying to go to work in the paint, and he has a nice scoop layup.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot you can really do about that if you're Eli Lawson. He did a pretty good job at staying behind him and and keeping his body on him, and Macinas just had a nice move around him, and Lawson couldn't really do much about it.
So Kyle Grill's back into the game. He's dealing with a right calf contusion. Got the KT tape on. We'll see how much he can give it tonight. He'll shoot the mid-range shot, and he drills it.
Well, and his first shot of the night goes in, so if you're Kyle Grill, you've got to think that gives him a little bit of confidence to play on that right calf.
There's Atwater right side. Get it around the perimeter. Ty Jackson now swings it over to Jaden Taylor. Taylor tries to shoot over Hammocky. In and out, no good. Grill gets the rebound. Man, if Taylor hit that one, another crazy three-point make for the Lions in his first half. There's Dan McCuna. Hands it off Hammocky. Back to McCuna. McCuna, he's got a size mismatch. Trying to work on Tyreek Brooks. McCuna getting around Brooks, and then he gets fouled. Who will that foul go on? It's going to go on Martin Macinas. 2 free throws for Dan McCuna when we come back. Lions lead by 3.
The 2025 MIAA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships are returning to the historic Municipal Auditorium in downtown Kansas City from March 5th through the 9th. Starting in January, you can purchase tickets from the athletic department on a campus near you or from the municipal box office in Kansas City. Don't miss out on any of the action.
19-16, Missouri Southern leads it, and well, Eli, this has been a pretty back and forth first half, but Missouri Southern got a lead up by 7. Tigers are starting to creep back, though.
Yeah, and Fort Hays State has really, all things considered, done a pretty good job at staying in this ball game. Missouri Southern has knocked down hard shot after hard shot, and Fort Hays State continues to have an answer, and really the stem of that has been Caleb Hammocky, but like I said, all things considered, they've really kept their morale up pretty well.
Here's Dan McCuna to shoot 2 free throws right before the break. He made a nice move on his defender, Tyreek Brooks, and gets 2 free throws. So McCuna, who had a career high or tying a career high 16 against Newman on Saturday, had a big game, averages 6 a game, a 72% foul shooter. Hits the first. In and out on the next. Missouri Southern with it, down by 2. Isaiah Atwater going to his left. Pass got tipped by Lucas Hammocky, and he's able to get it over to Macinas. Macinas. Back over to Atwater. He calls for a screen for Tyrone Wright. Atwater hesitates, finds Wright, and he's got a man's jam.
Wow. I mean, what a play drawn up there for the Lions. They drew the pressure to Atwater after he called for the screen, and no one went with the screen. And then he had an open lane to the rim there.
And then he follows it up with a block on the other end. Martin Macinas in transition. Finds Wright. Wright attacks. Oh, they're going to go a blocking foul. I thought they were going to give an offensive. Hammocky just a little late on the legal guarding position, and 2 free throws coming for Wright.
Yeah, I think he was maybe like a half a second too slow to get his feet set on that play. He got right in front of him, but just couldn't quite get him, to give him enough time to really get his feet set properly. Here's another look at that.
It's close, yeah. I don't think he did either.
You saw he was kind of on his tippy toes there on that, and he just couldn't quite get his feet planted down, and it was because he was so rushed into trying to plant his feet down.
Wright is the guy you'd want at the free throw line, though. Only a 49% free throw shooter. Here's his second. He does go 1 of 2. So Caleb Hammocky now dealing with 2 fouls. He stays in the game. Aiden McDowell, one of the true freshmen from Crete, Nebraska, is also in the game for the first time. Trajan Davis will swing it to Hammocky. Hammocky left open for a moment. Now McDowell, he'll shoot a two-pointer just inside the three-point line. That one's off the left, though. No good. Aiden McDowell seems like one of those guys you want to see get some scoring in this one. He's a sharp shooter. If he gets hot, he can light up the points. Wright can't handle it inside, and then McDowell turns it right over, though. A great steal by Ty Jackson.
Well, McDowell's got to be frustrated at that, and as you mentioned, he's one that can shoot the ball really well. We've seen him do it before. We'll see if he can get going here tonight. He might be an X factor for this Tigers team.
Crawford off the right, no good. And R.J. Crawford, who usually doesn't shoot a ton, he's 0 of 4 from the field, though, in this first half. Taylor trying to get a Macinas. Trajan Davis gets the steal for the Tigers. Now they get it over to their point guard, Caleb Hammocky. Hammocky, cross-court pass, Crawford. This time he pump fakes. Drives in, bounce passes it. Extra pass. Oh, man, Hammocky might have had a shot there. He didn't shoot it, though. Riley trying to go to work on Macinas, and that one's airballed. They want to send Riley to that right hand, and they did a good job doing it.
Yeah, and it was hard because he didn't really have a lot of ways to generate power to really get that hook up and over his head, and that's really what caused him to airball that shot.
Atwater in rhythm for three. No good, too strong. Hammocky skies in the air to grab the board. Hammocky wants to push this. Now a step back, nearly lost it. It's loose. He gets it back, though. Finds Crawford. Crawford hesitates in the lane, and he lays it in off the glass.
That was a nice move from Crawford. He fooled me from up here in the crow's nest, and I thought he was going to pass it out to McDowell in the corner, but instead he decided to take it himself and got himself an easy bucket.
Yeah, and Missouri Southern thought he traveled with it really close. But Crawford with a nice finish. Here's Atwater. He gets the switch he wants. Now she wants a different one. Swings in the corner. Left wide open is Ty Jackson. He can't make him pay, though. Little defensive breakdown right there by the Tigers, but Fort Hays State catches a break. Hammocky, pull-up jumper, in and out, no good. But Missouri Southern can't crawl the rebound. Well, they had it. There was nobody down there. It's 4 guys to nobody. And it'll stay with Fort Hays.
And I think just a miscommunication on their part, 2 miscommunications for that matter. Fort Hays State had that initial miscommunication on defense. They got lucky, and somehow that shot didn't get knocked down. And then there, Missouri Southern just couldn't quite decide who wanted to grab the ball.
Riley trying to go to work, and now he gets a bucket, and he gets a foul.
And the Tigers starting to kind of creep back into this here. Now within 3 points, Riley could make it 2 here if he knocks down this free throw. Fort Hays State really showing signs of life, but still not working on all cylinders like we know they can.
Well, Riley, it's going to be a tough day for him, a guy who leads the team in rebounding and is just shy of double figures at 9.6 points a game. He can't capitalize there, but he's got that tough matchup with the 6'9 Tyrone WRIGHT here tonight. So he might be a guy that has a good night off the stat sheet, you might say. Hands it off, Isaiah Atwater. Atwater trying to work on Caleb Hammocky. Nearly turned over. Justin Duff saves it, though, for the Lions. Duff attacks. They get it around. A three-pointer. Macinas buries it.
Wow. I mean, what a shot there from him. He really cocked it back over his head, and it was almost a Larry Bird-esque shot there, the way he pulled that above his head.
His 20th made 3 of the season. Here's Hammocky swinging over to Grill. He leaves that 3 short. Loose rebound into the hands of Isaiah Atwater from Missouri Southern. Just over the 5-minute mark for the Lions, leading by 6. Atwater on work on Hammocky, getting around him. Swing it over to Tyrone WRIGHT. WRIGHT driving in, right on Riley, putting it up, and he scores.
And it was all because of the pump fake. He kind of he sent him over the edge. He got him to bite a little bit on that pump fake, and it allowed him to get enough separation to be able to hit that mid-range.
Trajan Davis. He'll give it over to Hammocky. Now Riley. Grill trying to step back, get some space. He'll shoot a mid-range jumper. This one goes. It hit about every part of the rim, but finally dropped.
Well, he did a nice job at allowing Sean Riley to just kind of sit there and act as a screen for him without moving at all. Sean Riley wasn't really intending to set a screen like that, but it worked out.
Atwater shooting it over Hammocky off the back iron, no good. And Lucas Hammocky gets the rebound. Get it over to Caleb. And he'll set it up. Fort Hays State's got it at a much quicker pace, but they only have 23 points. Davis will give it to Hammocky. 15 to shoot. He'll fire up a right wing three. That one's well off, too strong, no good. So the Lions' largest lead is 8. It was just 8 a moment ago. Can they get back to that or maybe extend it to 9? Macinas, he'll work on Trajan Davis on the low post. Macinas spinning. Davis, good defense, bumping, and a foul going to be called on Trajan Davis. And Martin Macinas will go to the free throw line. We are at the under 5 timeout. 29-23, Missouri Southern leads.
I picked Fort Hays because I knew I wanted to go online. At the time, I was working full-time and volunteering, so it was more flexible. They're super affordable compared to a lot of the same size programs, and you can just really make your degree whatever you want to make it. So you can be as connected to the department as you have time to be. I don't ever feel like with the history department that like I'm off in my own world online. I feel like they definitely care and invest as much in us as on-campus students. My name's Chelsea Kiefer, and I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
At Fort Hays State University, our tourism and hospitality program offers a variety of enrollment options such as online, on-campus, or a hybrid of the two. As travel and tourism grows into one of the top industries in the world, our program provides you with valuable education and industry experience. With our accelerated 3-year program at an affordable price, you can get your degree in 3. Visit our website today to learn more.
Missouri Southern right now with a 6-point lead, and Tyrone WRIGHT, man, he's been a tough man to stop. He's 4 of 4. He's got 9.
Yeah, he really has been tough. And for the Tigers, they're a little undersized compared to WRIGHT. And it's difficult for Fort Hays State to be able to really defend a guy like him. He's just such a force of nature inside the paint. You see right there throwing down the big slam.
Yeah, that was a ferocious dunk. And it's not only been WRIGHT. You saw the 3 from Macinas. WRIGHT leads the team with 9, but Jaden Taylor has 7, Tyreek Brooks with 6, and Martin Macinas with 5. It's been a pretty balanced attack from the Lions. And Macinas, before that break, got fouled by Trajan Davis, so he's got 2 free throws. A chance to knock both of these in and tie their largest lead of the game. Macinas, a guy who was an All-MIAA honorable mention last season. He is definitely going to be on that mark again, averaging 14 points and 5 rebounds a game with 4 assists as well. Splits a pair, and Fort Hays trails by 7 with the basketball. Hammocky surveys the defense and calls the play. Here he comes off a screen. He'll shoot another mid-range, and this time he rattles it home.
And there was almost no doubt in my mind that was going to go in after it came off of his hands. And his jumper is just so smooth from mid-range.
Over right side, it goes to Tyreek Brooks. They swing it around. Now it's Jaden Taylor. They get an open look for Duff, but well defended by Lucas Hammocky, and now he gets called for a foul. And to the line, it'll be Justin Duff. Lucas Hammocky thought he got all ball, but the officials say otherwise. So Justin Duff, a guy, a 6'3" sophomore from St. Louis, Missouri. Free throw left short, an 80% free throw shooter on the season. That's only his 8th miss of the year. Jaden Taylor will come back in. So a 5-point Missouri Southern lead. They've led the whole game. It's been pretty dominant. But Fort Hays State's still hanging around, but you feel like they need a little run here before the half.
They do, and they need something that's going to give them some life into the locker room and something positive to look at here going into the second half of play.
Here's Caleb Hammocky off a screen. Good bounce pass to Riley. Can't finish, but he'll get 2 free throws. And Riley would have loved to finish that because he does struggle from the free throw line.
Yeah, and Riley's going to have to be careful tonight. He needs to be powerful and strong in the post, but he also needs to be careful not to injure himself. He's going to be taking a beating down low tonight just because of the size that Missouri Southern has over him. You saw right there where he had a really good attempt on goal. He about had it roll in for him, couldn't quite get the finish, and that's just due to the sheer size that Missouri Southern has.
He's unable to finish that one. He can't hit the free throw. Riley, a 54% free throw shooter. And that one is way off, no good. So Missouri Southern catches the break. Fort Hays State can't capitalize. Now the Lions have it up 6. Handoff from Ty Jackson to Tyreek Brooks. Brooks almost got Riley in the air. Now Messinas. Off a screen, it is Jaden Taylor. He rifles a pass with one arm. Now Messinas wants to go to work. He's got 5 to shoot. Ty Jackson will shoot over Riley. In and out, no good. And McCuna gets the board for the Tigers. Here comes Caleb Hammocky. 2.5 to go in this first half. Hammocky off a screen going left. He got a switch on Messinas. Now he wants Riley to get out of there. 10 to shoot. There's Lucas Hammocky who pump fakes. Little Euro step in the lane.
Wow, what a move from Lucas Hammocky. I was not expecting that from him. I thought he was going to dish the ball right back out to his brother Caleb, but instead he took it himself, and it worked out really well for him.
That was a nice move. Lucas now with 6 for Fort Hays State. Kind of a rare. There's a nice cut. Ty Jackson, he's got his second basket.
Just a defensive breakdown there for the Tigers. There was a very large gap in the middle of their defense and made it really easy for Missouri Southern to score there.
Every time Fort Hays State gets a basket, Southern answers. And now there's Caleb Hammocky with the step back.
Fort Hays State within 4 now. This is really a good spot to be in. If they can get a stop here, they could really go into the locker room here with something positive to look at.
Fort Hays 4, their last 5 from the field. They're hitting their shots, but Missouri Southern is as well, shooting 48% from the field. Here's Messinas trying to go to work on McCuna. He'll put a baby hook up, and it's too strong. Here comes Hammocky. Racing down the floor. They'll set it up on the offensive end. Now he'll drive. Nothing there. Trajan Davis will fire up a 3. No good. I don't think he was necessarily ready to shoot that when he caught it. A minute to go left in this first. It'll be Jaden Taylor to walk it up. Messinas. 10 to shoot for the Lions. Tyreek Brooks going to work, nearly throws it away. Duff saves it with 5. Now outside Taylor. Taylor's going to have to hoist one up over Hammocky. A tough shot, left it short, and Lucas Hammocky gets the rebound. About a second differential between that shot clock and game clock. Maybe a half a second, actually. So Lucas Hammocky will walk it up, and now they get it to their floor general and their star, Caleb Hammocky.
It's a great opportunity for the Tigers to really make a statement here before halftime.
He drives, nothing there. Lucas Hammocky pump fakes. He attacks, throws one up, scores, and is fouled.
This is a different Lucas Hammocky I've never seen before, and this is just a completely out of character and in a good way for Lucas Hammocky. He's just so much more aggressive with the ball, and it's really paying off for him.
You can tell. You could tell, though, he's got confidence, especially.
He does. He just shot the ball over 2 players. I mean, that's totally out of character for him. I've never seen him do that before, and I love it from him. He's playing extremely well tonight.
1 second left for 1.8. It's a 1-point game. And this is the closest it's been in a very long time. There will be a timeout called here by Missouri Southern. Fort Hays State just brought in Muhammad Conte to give Hammocky a breather with 1 second left. But if you're the Lions, what exactly are you drawing up here? You feel like maybe you could get 1 or 2 dribbles to get a shot.
It's almost a catch and shoot here, and it just depends on where they're going to have the ball. I think they're going to have it on their own baseline. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
So they'll have it on their own baseline. So this is almost has to be a catch and shoot. And you're either going for a shot from half court off of a dribble or 2, or you're going to go for a full court pass with a catch and shoot kind of thing. But I don't see them going for that long pass. I think they'll just probably go a dribble or 2 and then fire it from around half court.
He can run the baseline. It's Tyreek Brooks. No, it's Jaden Taylor to throw it in. They have 2 guys all the way on one side where you can't even see anybody on your screen except the guy throwing it in. They're right around half court. Taylor will overhead pass it Brooks, one dribble. He got it off from half court. It's no good. And we head into the locker rooms. Scorer for Fort Hays State, a four-time All-MIAA member, was two times he was the first team, one time the second, and one time honorable mention. It goes outside to R.J. Crawford for the Tigers. Now they get inside to Sean Riley, who had a quiet first half. There's Hammocky right on cue. He gives Fort Hays State their first lead of the game here in the second half.
Picking up right where he left off, and I really already am feeling the energy from him to start this second half.
So 12 for Hammocky. And they get it to Tyreek Brooks. Now it's Jaden Taylor. Taylor long pass to Duff. The sharpshooter fires one up, no good. And the rebound to Trajan Davis. Fort Hays State will run. Now Hammocky will bring it out. Grill left wide open for three, and it crawls in.
Gets it to roll in, and Kyle Grill knocking down that wide open three. You cannot leave a guy like Kyle Grill that can shoot as well as he does that wide open.
It's his first three of the game. Fort Hays, they pick up their first lead, and now they're up 4. Here's Wright. Thought about the handoff, and then he lost it. He dribbled it off his leg.
A lot of momentum going in favor of the Tigers here. Missouri Southern's going to have to do something to slow up this tempo that Fort Hays State is building here. Otherwise, this lead's going to get out of hand.
It was 33-27 with about a minute to go in the first half. Now Fort Hays State up 4. There's a midi again from Hammocky.
Same spot and just knocks it down. Victory Tiger over there on the opposite balcony, showing off his muscles, liking what he saw from Caleb Hammocky.
6-point Tiger lead. Getting open is Brooks. He'll shoot a three to try and quiet this run, but he can't hit. Hammocky gets the board. Fort Hays State can up their lead even more. Riley will get back to Hammocky. Hammocky off the screen. Trying to go to work on Tyreek Brooks. This time he misses his first miss here of the second half. Tyreek Brooks will bring it up. Or excuse me, Taylor. Jaden Taylor. He'll drive in on Crawford. Good defense right there by R.J. Crawford. Trying to bounce pass it to Wright. Was it touched? It was not touched. So this will go to Fort Hays State, and it's the 6th turnover of the game for Missouri Southern, and Jaden Taylor's 3rd.
And that was really good interior defense there from the Tigers, and that's what they're going to have to continue to do if they want to continue to hold their lead here, is continue to play good interior defense, and they're going to continue finding success.
Here's Hammocky. Waiting for some off-ball movement to happen. R.J. Crawford wanted to get in low to Davis. Now they do. He's got Macinas on him. Davis trying to barrel his way in the lane. He can't score, and the rebound goes to Tyrone WRIGHT. So 2.5 minutes gone by in the second half. Missouri Southern still has not scored yet. Remember, they had a horrible second half against Missouri Western in the last game. They get 47, got outscored by 15. And not a good start for them here in this second half either. Down 7-0. Here's Hammocky. Get it to Grill over on the wing. The Tigers have another good look in them. Davis on the low post with 8 to shoot. Backing down Brooks, and a foul, reach-in foul going to be called on Brooks.
And Davis looks pretty fed up and kind of put out at this point, shaking his head and kind of just looks exhausted. It seems like he's really been taking quite a beating on the post tonight, and Fort Hays State's going to have to watch that and try and preserve him as we do come later down the stretch in the season. They're going to really need him for the MIAA tournament.
There's Hammocky trying to go to work on Macinas. He gets it over to his brother Lucas, who had a big first half, as we mentioned. Now Caleb Hammocky wants to go ISO on Macinas. Trying to make his move. Gets in the lane. High off the window. No good. Riley battling in the lane. And it's won by the Lions. They want to push. Duff up the floor to Brooks. Brooks gets fouled on his way up. And he's got 2 free throws.
And there was not a whole lot Kyle Grill could do there but foul. It was either foul him or just let him go straight to the hole. And he had to make a decision, and he decided to not allow him to get the easy bucket, and that in turn caused Kyle Grill to have to foul there. Didn't really have time to get his feet set, and that was the result.
So he hits the front end of the 2. Tyreek Brooks, a true freshman from Springfield, Missouri. He's going to be a guy to watch out for in these upcoming. Actually, excuse me, that's Jaden Taylor, not Tyreek Brooks. The number 6 and the number 8 have looked awfully similar on these black uniforms.
I would agree that the numbers are quite hard to read on these uniforms.
Taylor is not a true freshman. He's a junior. So here's Trajan Davis. Gets it over to Hammocky. Swing into the corner. Grill, catch and shoot 3, and he knew it.
No hesitation from the corner. He knew that was his spot. He took that shot without even looking to see who was in front of him.
And Duff, who is on him, little hand down, man down action, wasn't ready for that quick trigger. Here's Tyreek Brooks to attack. He'll swing it over to Macinas. Now Taylor, a 3, can't score it. Offensive foul going to be called on Tyrone WRIGHT. He shoved Sean Riley in the back. And this is awfully like the start of the game, but switched, if you might say. Fort Hays State started down 6-0 in the first half, but in the second half now it's 10-2 in favor of Fort Hays.
Well, and it makes you wonder if maybe Missouri Southern's a team that really sprints the first part of the race and then kind of starts to get a little bit too lackadaisical there in the middle, and Fort Hays State has really done a nice job at coming out to play here in the second half.
They're going to go to a 2-3 zone. Can Fort Hays State find a way to shoot? Here's Hammocky in the lane. The double team comes. He picked up his dribble. He's in trouble. There's Kyle Grew, who's left wide open. He buries another.
And they better not let Kyle Grill start getting hot, because once he does, things are going to start to go up in flames. Kyle Grill knocking down back-to-back three-pointers.
He's got 13. Fort Hays, what a turnaround. They're up 10 now. Here's Macinas in attack. Finds right in the lane. He got stripped, but they're going to call a foul. This one's going to go against Kyle Grill, I believe. No, Trajan Davis, actually. So Davis picks up his second. How about this run right now from Fort Hays? They were down 29-21. And now it's a 24-6 run to take a 10-point lead.
And it really just seems like their momentum can't be stopped. And Missouri Southern's done a lot to try and break up some of this momentum, but they've been very unsuccessful so far, and they're going to have to do something to break up the rhythm that Fort Hays State has built here.
Well, not only that, you wonder about Fort Hays maybe coming out in this one, much like the women's game, maybe came out not as locked in. Bigger game maybe Saturday versus Pittsburgh State, but Tigers are now showing up here in the second half. Here's Hammocky off a screen from Davis. He gets it over to Riley. Now Grill, who's much tightly guarded. He'll shoot it over 2 defenders. Maybe a little heat check. No good. He thought he might have got hit on the arm. Rebound goes to Taylor. Taylor gets by Hammocky. Driving right into Riley. Throws a tough shot up. This one's last touched off of the Lions. Jaden Taylor can't believe it. We'll go to break. 45-36. Tigers up 9.
All the campus tours I took, Fort Hays was just like the place I fell in love with. It was so comfortable to be here. It seemed like everybody was willing to like listen to me, and they wanted me to do my best here. So it was just a place of comfort and community, which is something I was looking for. Here at Fort Hays, we're such a tight-knit community that it's nice to recognize faces you walk by and continue those relationships. The connections I'll have to be able to like further my career has been awesome. My name is Abigail Wolf. I'm a senior here at Fort Hays, and I'm majoring in nursing.
I chose Fort Hays State University through online because they cared about me personally, because they shared my passion for my family and my community, and made it okay for me to be able to share both of those things at the same time while still giving me a top-notch education. I'm proud to be a graduate of Fort Hays State University.
Fort Hays State here in the second half. In these first 5 minutes, outscoring the Lions 13-3, and they've been doing it on all assets of the game.
They really have, and it started with Caleb Hammocky knocking down a few mid-range jumpers, and then it developed to moving the ball around, finding the open man. Kyle Grill knocked down a couple three-pointers. One of those right there, knocking down some three-pointers with confidence. I mean, Fort Hays State is really just moving the ball around really well, and that's what's led to their success. And I think that's what we talked about in that first half is what they needed to do was try and move the ball around more. And they've realized that. That's what they've tried to do more here in the second half, and it's worked out for them.
And also Caleb Hammocky taking charge as well. Sometimes it seems he can get a little too passive at times, but tonight he has not been. He's taken 14 shot attempts, and he's made 6 of them. Here's Riley. He'll send Davis over. Get it over to Hammocky. 12 to shoot out top. He's got Macinas on. This is the matchup he likes. Hammocky, step back 3. Hand down, man down. Caleb Hammocky again.
I don't know why they gave him that much space, but Caleb Hammocky caught him off guard and just knocked down that three-pointer.
Macinas, he left him just too much. He'll drive now. Gets over to Wright, and Wright throws it right to a Missouri Southern assistant coach.
Yeah, he was looking at the wrong color over there, and I almost wonder if he was expecting a teammate to be on that side of the floor and didn't have anyone there, and now the Tigers can really take advantage of this.
Davis finds Hammocky, who's had the hot hand tonight. This time he'll put up a little runner. Doesn't go. Who's this last off of? Last off of Missouri Southern, and the Lions really can't believe it right now. They feel like they got kind of messed over on a call earlier before the timeout, and maybe again.
Yeah, and it's really starting to get to the head of some of those players, and that's one thing that you really have to avoid is allowing little things that are out of your control get to your head, and that's something that can really affect your overall play. And then you start making those mistakes like that right there, where you just give up fouls that you shouldn't be giving up.
That one's on Tyreek Brooks, the true freshman from Springfield, Missouri, and he's going to be a good player here in these next few years. He might have a chance to win that Freshman of the Year, averaging over 12. Lobbing it in is Lucas Hammocky. R.J. Crawford goes up in the air to get it, with Brooks defending him. Now Lucas Hammocky up top. 12 to shoot for Fort Hays. Trying to go to work on Taylor, stepping back, spinning in the lane. He got stripped. And Jaden Taylor getting all ball that time. 7 seconds here to shoot.
And you've got to think this is either going to be a pass or two and then shot or a catch and shoot.
Hammocky. He's got Jackson on him. He'll drive. There's Lucas Hammocky in the corner. A 3. No good. And the rebound goes to Missouri Southern. Attacking. Nice spin move. Taylor. He can't score it. Oh, my goodness. There might be a lid on that basket now for the Lions. Caleb Hammocky racing down the far side. Trying to get to Riley. Nearly had it stolen. They get it to Riley this time. It was tipped into the backcourt. It goes. And Riley traveled. And you talk about just bad luck for Missouri Southern. I don't know how much better of a move Jaden Taylor could have made to get to the rim.
The move was flawless. I mean, it was beautiful. There's no other word to describe it, and they just got unlucky, and the ball spun around the rim a couple times and still didn't go in.
There's a good finish by Macinas underneath the basket. That broke a long scoring drought for the Lions. 10-point lead. That was a 2-minute scoring drought for Missouri Southern. Here's Hammocky trying to break this zone the Lions are playing. Now it's into man. Lucas Hammocky with 7 to shoot. Lost it. Out of bounds. Stays with Fort Hays State. Head coach Sam McMahon is very frustrated that is staying with Fort Hays State.
Well, I think Caleb Hammocky, Lucas Hammocky was just as confused because he thought he got tripped up there in the lane, and so he was thinking there was a foul on the play instead of there being a turnover.
Caleb Hammocky can't hit the fadeaway corner 3. And now Missouri Southern starting to inch closer as Fort Hays is on a 2-minute scoring drought. Taylor finds Macinas. He'll drive into the lane. Lost it. It's on the floor. Atwater and Crawford fighting for it. And Crawford gets fouled by Isaiah Atwater. And it'll be Tiger basketball.
Yeah, and I want to say R.J. Crawford might have gotten hit where you don't want to get hit, and that was a really valiant effort there from R.J. Crawford on that play. He went straight to the floor, almost Superman dive. Here's the replay. He Superman dives practically and then turns his back towards Isaiah Atwater, and that was masterful from R.J. Crawford to turn his back to him so that he could hold onto the ball and avoid the jump ball.
And Crawford, he has been a warrior this season, dealing with some back problems. Trying to give it his all here in this last stretch of the season. Kyle Grill trying to get to Crawford. He's left open. R.J. Crawford fires a three, no good, too short. He's still looking for his first points of the game. Actually, he has 2 points, but he's 0 of 3 from outside. Here's Macinas. Spins on Grill, trying to get an extra pass to Wright. There's Jackson instead. He'll score it. It's all of a sudden an 8-point game. It's within single digits.
And that's what Missouri Southern needed, a combination like that. And it really worked out well for him there on that play.
Crawford finds Lucas Hammocky back to RJ. Fort Hays is trying to break this zone, but they have struggled to hit their shots. Hammocky, extra pass, Grill. Hammocky might have had a look. Now Grill turns it over. Well, if you're Mark Johnson, you want Caleb Hammocky shooting that mid-range shot. Instead, it turns into a turnover with 10.5 to play. Taylor attacks. He gets fouled by Grill, and he falls into the seats. Grill's second.
Yeah, and they'll get him on the blocking foul there, and it wasn't entirely a bad play on Kyle Grill's part because he had his hands straight up, and he really did a nice job at staying in front of him, but he kind of just ran him out of bounds, and he was bound to collide with him.
They get it in here to Macinas. Macinas spinning on Grill, in and out, no good. That would have been a huge basket to cut it to a two-possession game, but it doesn't fall for the Lions. And now Caleb Hammocky walks it up for the Tigers. This is kind of the point of the game where you feel like it's getting grinded out and in Fort Hays State's favor. Lucas Hammocky attacks, and that's going to be a goaltend.
And Lucas Hammocky's just done such a nice job at attacking the rim with no fear. I mean, he went up on two guys that are a lot taller than him. You'll see right here on the replay, he goes up on his defender and the center and on the center of the court and still comes out with the goaltender there.
A little too close to tell on that angle if it was the right call or not, but the officials were adamant. They might go review this at the next timeout. I think that's what they are going to do. Here's Macinas. He's going to drive. He's going to spin, swing into the corner. A three, no good. That was a good look right there from Ty Jackson. But Fort Hays gets the rebound, up by 10, and they're just going to continue here to eat some clock. Keep swinging around. Grill at the elbow. He'll fire the midi, and it's switched home.
And Grill's just done such a nice job in the amount of time that he's played. He hasn't played a whole lot because they're trying to preserve that calf, but the time that he has played has been very impactful. He's up to 15 points now on the night.
And it ties the largest lead, up 12. Atwater going to his right, hesitant. Now back to Macinas, top of the key. He'll shoot over Grill, no good. And Makuna gets the rebound for Fort Hays State. And every miss Missouri Southern has means more clock coming off the clock for Fort Hays State. They just continue to eat time in these long possessions. Makuna trying to go to work on Wright. Tough shot from Makuna, and that's no good. Here is a drive from Jaden Taylor. Taylor trying to go to work at Hammocky, and the rebound goes to McDowell. And they get it back to Hammocky, and the rebound to Fort Hays State. The Tigers leading by 12 with 8:15 to go in the basketball game. Hammocky over on the wing. They find Grill at the elbow. He'll fire a jump shot over Macinas. He hits it again. Kyle Grill now with 17, tying the team high with Caleb Hammocky. And how about this run from Fort Hays State? It's going to be a timeout called by Missouri Southern. 14-point lead, Tigers on a 6-0 run.
2025 MIAA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships are returning to the historic Municipal Auditorium in downtown Kansas City from March 5th through the 9th. Starting in January, you can purchase tickets from the athletic department on a campus near you or from the municipal box office in Kansas City. Don't miss out on any of the action.
Fort Hays State has just turned it up here in the second half, up by 14, and Kyle Grill is also having a remarkable second half. Now he is 7 of 9 from the field, and he's hit 3 threes, and he's just having an outstanding second half with 7:57 to go in this one. It will be Missouri Southern ball out of the timeout. But, man, you just got to give credit to this Fort Hays State team. They were down by as many as 8 in that first half and never let it faze them. And actually, they're looking at that goaltend right now, currently. So that's why we're still in this timeout. Mentioned that they were probably going to after the it initially happened. Now, the thing I always feel about this is it's kind of like in football. You want to let it play out in a way because then you can always go back and change it, but you can't go back after you call it dead and, you can't go back and change what happened there after you called it dead. So, like in football, when a fumble would happen, most of the time they let it play out, and now let's take one last look at it.
And I think in a game that's is so momentum-based like this game has been, I think that was the right call on the referee's side of things to just wait until there was a dead ball and an opportunity for them to look at it.
So it looks like they have confirmed it. 54-40, the score remains. Here is Jaden Taylor between the legs. Over to Atwater in rhythm. He wants a 3, no good. Offensive tip, rebound. Brooks got fouled by Hammocky in midair. And 2 free throws, and we will take another break here with nothing much changed. Fort Hays State still up 14.
I picked Fort Hays because I knew I wanted to go online. At the time, I was working full-time and volunteering, so it was more flexible. They're super affordable compared to a lot of the same size programs, and you can just really make your degree whatever you want to make it. So you can be as connected to the department as you have time to be. I don't ever feel like with the history department that like I'm off in my own world online. I feel like they definitely care and invest as much in us as on-campus students. My name is Chelsea Kiefer, and I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
At Fort Hays State University, our tourism and hospitality program offers a variety of enrollment options such as online, on-campus, or a hybrid of the two. As travel and tourism grows into one of the top industries in the world, our program provides you with valuable education and industry experience. With our accelerated 3-year program at an affordable price, you can get your degree in 3. Visit our website today to learn more.
We're glad to have you with us here on the MIAA Network. Between Fort Hays State and Missouri Southern, not much has changed since the last break. Tigers still lead by 14.
Yeah, and it's really just been such a back-and-forth game that, and I was mentioning earlier, it was a great job on their part to wait until they had that stoppage to really review that play. But now with a break as long as this, the momentum's kind of up for grabs right now.
It definitely is. I mean, it felt like Fort Hays just completely had it all, and now it does. It does feel like that definitely has quieted things. It's quieted the crowd, maybe the Tigers bench a little bit, and Missouri Southern can maybe crawl back into it here as Tyreek Brooks goes to the line and the southpaw hits his first. Last game versus Missouri Western, he actually fouled out of the game. He finished with 5 points and a couple of boards. He's got 7 points here tonight. Now make it 8. And now a full court press called by Sam McMahon. A win here would send Sam McMahon's career record to 500 with the Lions. Here's Caleb Hammocky. He'll get by Taylor, and they'll set it up. Hammocky off a screen here from Riley. They don't switch it. 10 to shoot for the Tigers. Now it goes to Lucas Hammocky, who attacks. Now finds Caleb as he looks up at the shot clock. 4 to shoot. He'll try and drive baseline. Nothing there. He shoots it over the goal. No, that would have counted. Oh, that would have been insane. But the rebound goes to Jaden Taylor from Missouri Southern. Just over 7 minutes to play. Brooks, straightaway 3, no good. And it was not touched by McDowell. It goes to Fort Hays.
Back to that shot there from Hammocky off the baseline. That would have been crazy if that would have gone in. And it was really not a bad idea on his part because he really didn't have very many other places to go with it. So he just kind of had to throw it up and tried to arc it over the top of the backboard.
Yeah, no, there was nothing else he could have done. I mean, you could. That's a shot you shoot in horse most of the time. He's probably done that plenty of times in the driveway against Lucas, but not necessarily against Missouri Southern. You want to shoot it. Now a turnover from Fort Hays State. Good defense here by Missouri Southern. They amp up the pressure a little bit, and they get it back down 12. Fort Hays usually doesn't have to deal with this type of full court press, but Missouri Southern feels at this point in the game they have to do something. Ty Jackson will get it inside to Macinas. Macinas working on Riley, banging his way in the paint, trying to shoot it over Riley. It's too strong. Brill gets the rebound. Now they get it to their floor general point guard. Into the corner, McDowell. McDowell's got some space, but he won't shoot. Now Lucas Hammocky trying to right up or go at the defense. It goes inside Riley. Extra pass, Grill. He's left open again, and he makes them pay once again.
You just can't leave him that wide open. The Grill is on fire, and man, when he gets going, he's unstoppable.
Yeah, it's burning hot, actually. I mean, they might need to go check on the food. It is.
It's overcooked. It's well done.
It is. And now a foul going to be called. With 6:05, it's another 9-2 run from Fort Hays. 25-9 here in the second half. Free throws for Tyreek Brooks. Hits. The largest lead was 15 right before that free throw. The second one from Brooks, he hits them both. So a 13-point game with 6:05 to play. There's the pressure again. Caleb Hammocky gets trapped. He gets it to his brother Lucas. Lucas smartly does not get across half court yet, and now they get it to McDowell. So you can eat a lot of clock here now with a double-digit lead. It's McDowell who thought about the three. I think they want him shooting that three. Hammocky stepping back. Yes, sir!
Hammocky tied with Kyle Grill in points, both of them with 20 apiece tonight.
Macinas pump fakes, gets in the lane, puts up a tough shot, and now a foul will be called on the rebound. Are they going to call this a shooting foul? Because it did look like he was... Oh, actually, they called it before that rebound. So it was on... Or Macinas will be shooting free throws. This one's going to Riley. That dynamic duo, though, of Grill and Hammocky has been fun to watch. They have each hit 4 threes, 8 threes from those two combined. And kind of a rare outing from the Tigers, shooting as many threes. They usually don't shoot over the 20 mark, rarely even over the 15 mark in games, but they've shot 19 here, 8 of 19.
Well, they've really been forced to because Missouri Southern really resorted to that zone defense, and so they've had to shoot the three ball.
Here's Riley down the baseline. $16-point lead for Fort Hays State with 5 minutes to go. Atwater will fire one up. No good. And Fort Hays State can start to feel it here, trying to get their 17th win of the season. Here's Lucas Hammocky. He'll break the press. And now under 5 to go. Off a screen from Riley. Lucas Hammocky finds Riley, goes right at Macinas, trying to bank one in, no good. Riley only has 4 points tonight. It's been a slow night for him. Taylor Little Euro step in the lane. He gets it to go. Back to 14. Lucas Hammocky got fouled by Jaden Taylor. And that will take us to the under 5 timeout. Fort Hays State is skying in the air. They lead by 14.
All the campus tours I took, Fort Hays was just like the place I fell in love with. It was so comfortable to be here. It seemed like everybody was willing to like listen to me and they wanted me to do my best here. So it was just a place of comfort and community, which is something I was looking for. Here at Fort Hays, we're such a tight-knit community that it's nice to recognize faces you walk by and continue those relationships. The connections I'll have to be able to like further my career has been awesome. My name is Abigail Wolf. I'm a senior here at Fort Hays and I'm majoring in nursing.
I chose Fort Hays State University through online because they cared about me personally, because they shared my passion for my family and my community, and made it okay for me to be able to share both of those things at the same time while still giving me a top-notch education. I'm proud to be a graduate of Fort Hays State University.
Kyle Grill, 8 of 10 from the field in this game. He has been lights out here in the second half, 7 of 8 and 4 of 5 from 3. He's got 20.
He really has been lights out, and it's been really impressive because he's been trying to nurse that calf back to health. And in this game, he's played some pretty limited minutes, especially in that first half. He didn't play a whole lot. Here in the second half, he's gotten some more minutes than he did in that first half. But all things considered, he's played a really great game and hasn't really played really large chunks of minutes.
Well, you talk about efficient. That's more than efficient at 80% shooting.
I would say so.
And only in 22 minutes, too. So they get it into Lucas Hammocky. He'll drive down the sideline, getting by his defender. And now they'll get into their offensive set with 4:20 to go. Hammocky at the top of the key. Off a screen. Nearly lost it. Got it right back, though. 10 to shoot for Fort Hays State. Trajan Davis. He'll hand it off to Hammocky. He'll step back, fires at the 3. It's left short, long rebound. Kyle Grill gets it, and then he gets it over to his buddy Sean Riley. Fresh 20 for the Tigers. What can Missouri Southern do now? The clock just ticking away. Lucas Hammocky. Hesitant, tries to get to Riley, who lost it but didn't have possession. Extra pass, Grill. Out time, no good. All 3 of his misses are from 3. In transition, Brooks puts one up. No good, but a foul called. And going to the line, this one's going to be on Grill. Grill is not happy with that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that call. I think he definitely sold that call quite a bit on the end of that.
He hits the first. This are 3 big free throws now. You can cut this lead within 11 with 3.5 to go. I was wondering if Brooks, they made that rule adamant that you can't, kick your feet out to draw a foul. And I was wondering if that's what he did. He hits these first 2. And a big third one. Brooks swishes it. Perfect 3 of 3. Here's Grill. Gets it into Lucas Hammocky. He's trapped in a corner. It gets stolen away. Brooks gets the steal, and he gets it over to Taylor. Taylor will put it up and bank it in. It's down to single digits.
Something to note here, Kyle Grill has 4 personal fouls. He's got to watch his foul count. 1 more, and he's out of the game.
Here comes Grill to walk it up. Hand off to Hammocky. We got a ball game now. Just as we thought this thing was over, it was at 16 points, just over a minute ago. And now it's down to 9. 7-0, quick run for the Lions. Hammocky attacks. Gets cut off at the block. And now Lucas firing a deep 3, no good. Rebound to Atwater. Lions want to run. Here comes Brooks. That is Taylor. No good. Rebound to Sean Riley, and he gets it to Grill. Grill's pass tipped out of bounds. Missouri Southern in this full court press, though, is amping up this pressure and making life difficult for Fort Hays State. Now Hammocky, this is the guy you want to have it, though, and really staying out of the corners. They keep trapping in the corner. Grill finds Riley, and now you can set it up. And every time it feels like you get it across half court, life gets harder for Missouri Southern because the time will just keep ticking down. Davis over to Hammocky with 8 to shoot. Defended by Brooks. 4 getting in, step back, jumper. Yes, sir. He's got 22 on the game. Ty Jackson drives. Extra pass. Jaden Taylor, a 3. No good. Rebound, Grill. He gets fouled. 1 foul from the bonus. And Grill a little bit limping after that play. Acuna will come in for Sean Riley. But yeah, you see Kyle Grill. He's a little shaken up right now.
Yeah, and it all started with that foul that was called on him. I think he just kind of mentally got in his own head a little bit after that play, and from then on he's been a little bit mentally shaken. And I would agree. I am seeing him kind of favoring that left leg. I would be surprised. I would be surprised if Mark Johnson doesn't decide to maybe pull him from the game here pretty soon, just to kind of preserve him. They don't want to have any other outstanding injuries with him. He's such a big piece for this team, especially going down the season here, because with the MIAA tournament right around the corner, you have to have all your stars in full and healthy condition.
Well, I mean, you're already without R.J. Crawford. I mean, yeah, he plays, but he's not what he could have been. And he's a guy that when you recruited R.J. Crawford, even last year, he had some moments, really he did, but you expect this guy to average about 13, 14 points for you right next to Hammocky, and he just hasn't been able to due to his injury. It's been unfortunate for him, and you can't lose Grill as well because that is now be your second leading scorer. Hammocky can do a lot, but he can't handle the weight of three leading scorers. Grill to inbound in front of that Lions bench. They get it to Grill. Grill trying to split that double team. It's a Lucas Hammocky. They got to get it across. Now they do in the last second. Trajan Davis smartly doesn't try to do anything too fancy with the offense. You can eat more clock, up 11. 10 seconds to shoot now. He wants a screen from Acuna. Going left, attacking. Fading away. Yes, right over Atwater.
Does it again. I mean, that is his shot. That is his move. He does it so well.
Taylor getting Acuna in the air. Taylor's got it. They got to hurry, though. The Lions down 13. Trying to go to work. He hits it over Acuna. Jaden Taylor with a nice and a really tough fadeaway jumper. Hammocky in the corner. They get it to Lucas. Lucas Hammocky finds Acuna in transition. You could almost see that one coming when they got out. And we're running. Here's Atwater. Now it's Wright. Tyrone Wright. Turnaround jumper. It falls. And a quick timeout called by Missouri Southern. 11-point lead for Fort Hays State. And they put up 36 here in the second half and held the Lions to only 24. And once again for Missouri Southern, kind of an abysmal second half. Let's take another look here at that big-time dunk.
Well, and it was Hammocky that saw the vision up floor to push the floor to him, and then Acuna recognized he had the separation, and he said, all right, let's put on a show for the people, and especially for the Fort Hays faithful that have stuck this one out. It's already 9:08. It's past a lot of people's bedtimes around here in Hays, Kansas, and so Acuna made it worth their while for staying the extra time here.
Well, Missouri Southern, I mean, they lost last game, or they were leading at halftime against Missouri Western on Saturday, and then they lose, giving up 47 in the second half. It isn't quite as bad at 47, but it's right around the same kind of differential. Minus 12 in the second half after a first half lead, and here you are. They get it into Caleb Hammocky, who tries to get by Atwater, and he draws a foul. And now free throws awaiting Caleb Hammocky. We've mentioned a couple times, scored a season-high 32 points in the win on Saturday, which was his first 30 or more points since 2022-23 season. But he's having another big night tonight at 24.
When Kyle Grill just checked out of the game, that'll probably be the last time he comes into the game, last time he's in the game tonight, and he got a big standing ovation from his bench when he came off. And what an effort from him tonight, playing through that contusion. I mean, that takes some real grit from Kyle Grill.
Yes, it has. And now Hammocky hits both free throws. 13-point Tiger lead. Under 40 seconds. Atwater, a nice drive. Draws the foul on Riley. Hit him in the head, what they're saying. So Isaiah Atwater, a redshirt freshman from Wichita, Kansas, goes to the line for 2 free throws. Gets the first. Atwater, who averages 5 a game, getting his first points of the game. Usually for Missouri Southern, you had 4 guys in double figures, you'd feel like you had a pretty good chance to win.
You would think, and they've had a lot of guys really show up and perform for them, but it's really just beyond me that they didn't make this closer in the second half.
Well, big credit that's the 8 threes Fort Hays made, all coming from Caleb Hammocky and Kyle Grill. Lucas Hammocky is double teamed. They get it to Kyle Grill. Bounce passes it to Makuna. And back out to Hammocky. They'll eat more clock with 3-second differential. Up 11. This thing is well over. They might get one last shot, or they'll just take the turnover. I think they're just going to take the turnover. Caleb Hammocky will dribble this thing out. 70-59. 3 seconds left for Missouri Southern. And Fort Hays State, they're going to move to 17-8 on the regular season. Atwater will get it up. They'll shoot from the logo. It's off, and that'll do it. So the Tigers move to 17-8 in a big 10-.